Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Guten Nachmittag, alle Damen und Herren da draußen. As our session today is all about etiquette on stage and off it, and some superstitions I think we should be aware of, I'll try to keep it decent. Let us start with wearing a hat on stage. Big no, no. If you are crossing the stage, obviously if you are in a show and you have been told you have to wear a hat, you will do so. But ladies and gentlemen, Damen und Herren, wenn man über die Bühne geht, außerhalb einer Proben Vorstellung, hat man den Hut und Mantel zu entfernen. If you cross the stage during a rehearsal in your private clothes or during a performance, please, ladies and gentlemen, take off your hat and coat. When I was younger, I used to ask, do you people do it here? And I have learned that it shows that you are aware of the good manners, of the etiquette, if you, before putting a foot on the stage, take off your hat and coat. So it shows, I know where I am, I respect it, ich weiß, was sich geziemt. Talking about being on stage, very important that we know how to take applause. And ladies and gentlemen, Damen und Herren, man kann sein Publikum während des Applauses auch beleidigen. You could really insult your audience while taking applause if you don't know how to take applause decently. Modern times we don't take the colors applause anymore, but if you're wearing a big gown, ladies, why not go for it? We have YouTube. Go see how the greats did it. Some basic rules when it comes to applause. If you're in an opera, there will obviously be a list of who takes applause first. But going onto stage, leaving stage, we remain traditional if you want to do it correctly. Ladies first. Da bleiben wir ganz traditionell. Wenn wir auf die Bühne gehen und von der Bühne gehen, beim Applaus immer die Damen zuerst. If you have a Liederkonzert, a Liederabend with a pianist, traditionally is the singer or the instrumentalist first takes applause alone and then indicates the person at the piano. You get up, you take the applause together. For these duo evenings, standard procedure is that the soloist, the singer, the instrumentalist goes onto stage first, the pianist crosses behind the piano, takes its position, and one takes the bow together. But as I am an accompanist, I've had the situation where a gentleman, because he's a gentleman, insisted that going on stage, the lady goes first. So I really recommend rehearsing, taking your applause before you have an audience there. Bitte auch mal proben, wie man mit dem Applaus umgeht, noch vor das Publikum da ist. Talking about letting ladies go through the door first. We live in modern days. Everybody tends to look on their handy and rush through whatever door is available. Wir schauen alle aufs Mobiltelefon und sind uns unbewusst. So the session today is actually my contribution to try and save some form of decency. Ladies and gentlemen, why don't we bring back that gentlemen help ladies put on their coats and open doors for them? Obviously, if there's somebody in a wheelchair, you're going to help them, be you a man or a female. I'm very proud to say that my son even is British, so that's his excuse, knows to open doors for ladies and help them into their coats. Practice it. Vielleicht bringt es was. Das ist heutzutage etwas ganz Besonderes, wenn man noch weiß, was sich geziehen. Auf gut Deutsch immer knigge. Retten wir kniggen. And if we talk about etiquette around performers, there's always a huge amount of superstition. Aberglaube bei Vorstellungen. Now, we cannot keep everybody happy. There are so many superstitions about black cats. Some people will say that black cats will bring great misfortune, and other people will say, oh, I need to see a black cat before I go on stage, or the performance will be bad. We cannot drive ourselves crazy by knowing and respecting all of these superstitions. Wir können unmöglicherweise alle Aberglauben kennen und respektieren, aber ich empfehle dennoch, wenn man als Gast in ein Land geht für einen Auftritt oder für Proben, vorher informieren. For example, if you are going to be performing in Italy, even the younger Italian generations have a problem with the color purple. For them, it will channel bad luck onto the performance. So if you are aware of this, if you have Italian colleagues or if you are performing in Italy, let us keep any bits of the color purple away. I think I can get away with the glasses at all. Superstitions that I think won't hurt to be aware of them is one does not whistle on stage. Obviously, yet again, I must say this every time so nobody hates me too much. If you are in a show and you have been told to whistle, obviously you whistle. I'm talking about during a rehearsal, on a rehearsal stage, or walking around a theater or any venue where you will be performing. Whistling is not done. Das Herumpfeifen ist absolut, wenn man sich auskennt, total zu unterbinden. Wir wollen nicht Aberglauben pflegen und hysterisch werden über alles. Aber es ist sehr einfach. Das Pfeifen auf eine Bühne, um eine Bühne herum, einfach unterbinden. We are all nervous enough when it gets to performing and even for rehearsals that I find it is helpful to put some structure into how does life work around the actual performances, the rehearsals, because it is so important to know if you are, for example, on a big opera stage, all the people working on and around the stage might have been in their jobs for decades. You do not want to irritate the technical boss or the stage manager of the smaller or the biggest theaters. It is very unprofessional and will make your life impossibly hard. Talking about experienced people, I brought with this very simple coat hanger so I can remember to talk to you about some of these traditions and etiquette around stages and performances. I only learned this after about 10 years in theater. Diese Handgriff habe ich erst nach ungefähr 10 Jahren im Theater gelernt. Eine sehr erfahrene Gewandmeisterin came into my garderobe. The boss of the dressers and the garderobe came into my dressing room one evening and stopped dead in the tracks and said, I cannot believe it, what are you doing? I had taken off my street clothes and just flung it onto the clothes rack as I thought they will stay there. Then this dear lady took the time to explain to me there's a simple law of theater when it comes to hanging clothing. Es gibt ein ganz einfaches Gesetz, wenn es dazu kommt, Bekleidung aufzuhängen in Theatern. whether it be in your wardrobe or the big storage rooms where they hang the clothing. Very simple. The mouth of your coat hanger should always face in the direction of the stage. Sehr einfach sich das zu merken, wo immer der Auftritt ist, bitte dieses Gesetz doch respektieren. Ich nenne das, den Maul soll immer in Richtung Bühne zeigen. And this marvelous lady took the time to explain to me that ever since she had worked in theater, it had been drilled into her that doing this is one of the small ways we all remember that whatever we do in the theater is for what happens on stage, what will communicate with the audience. Nochmal auf Deutsch, auch weil ich das so wichtig finde. Es ist sehr wichtig, diese kleine, nicht Handgriffe, eher Bräuche oder Knigge beizubehalten, dass wir nie vergessen, dass was immer wir machen, an Proben oder Privatwitze oder was immer wir anziehen oder sagen, alles dient dazu, dem Publikum eine Vorstellung zu geben. Ohne Publikum haben wir alle nicht Arbeit. And I think I've been serious enough that I can talk about a theme that people often forget today. Respect. Oh, I used that word. Ich habe das R-Wort benutzt. Respekt. Ein bisschen Respekt haben vor den Kollegen vor Ort. If you are in a rehearsal, it is sheer bad manners to sit in the auditorium and have your own loud conversations. It shows publicly that you do not care what the people are doing on stage, and it shows very clearly that you do not support them in what they are doing. Das Herumreden im Zuschauerraum während einer Probe oder auf einer Probenbühne zeigt alle Beteiligten klar, falls du so eine Plaudertasche ist, dass du kein Interesse an Geschehen hast und dass du nicht deine Unterstützung der Mannschaft gibst. So it's very simple. And how do we amuse ourselves? How do we stay awake during these long rehearsals? Nowadays, most people sit around and play on their handies, on their mobile phones or cell phones. Handy gibt's nur auf Deutsch. Also, please be aware, if you have your cell phone switched on in a dark auditorium during a rehearsal, everybody on stage can see these bright flecks of light. It is seriously distracting. There are many things that one can legally do. If it is dark, you can maybe follow the rehearsal, you can meditate, you can check your own text when it's dark. If it is light, standard things to do in a rehearsal, good manners, traditionally is you read a book, or if you haven't finished studying the stuff you have to perform, you sit there studying. And my personal favorite for any rehearsal with lots of waiting time is knitting or any kind of handiwork that doesn't make any noise. And we already skipped slightly, ever so slightly, over applause. I made this list so I can share the things that I think we may forget about in these days, because some of us haven't really performed for a long time. So we forget about the good manners and the traditions. Ich wollte heute spezifisch über alle diese kleinen Sachen reden, weil viele von uns länger nicht auf der Bühne waren, und jetzt ist für mich die Gelegenheit, nochmal drüber nachzudenken, wie proben wir, wie treten wir auf. Applause after a general rehearsal is traditionally absolutely verboten, wird nicht gemacht. There might be an audience, but it is traditional that please, we do not applaud if you are in the audience. Obviously the people behind the curtain, we hug each other and we're very happy, but it's also part of one of these superstitions that if there is applause after a general rehearsal, it will bring down the bad luck. Bad luck, the one thing that's very important to remember in theater, we all like wishing each other good luck. Wir möchten uns immer vor einer Vorstellung sehr überschwänglich, oh, schöne Vorstellung sagen. So let's do this correctly. Traditionally we say toi, toi, toi. Please notice that I turned away from the camera so the spit that might have been in the toi, toi, toi landed against the wall. So if somebody says to you, I wish you good luck, or toi, 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 traditionally over a shoulder, the way to accept it is never say thank you, to traditionally knock on wood 3 times, or to spit 3 times. This with the spitting I think we'll have to change because of that virus. But if you spit into the corner of your elbow, maybe it's allowed. But definitely never accept good luck. Wenn du gute Wünsche bekommst, muss man das akzeptieren. Du musst etwas tun, damit das zu dir kommt. Aberglaubenzeit. 3-mal auf Holz schlagen, tut es schon ganz ausreichend. And today is a short session because I think it's more important that you think about what do you want to do when you rehearse. I'm sharing with you the stuff I have learned and that I've now had the opportunity during pseudo-isolation to realize that these things are important to me. The etiquette, was geziemt sich, showing good manners, bisschen rücksichtsvoll sein kann nicht schaden. What falls under this category for me, if we talk about etiquette and good manners, is gossip. Sure, we all enjoy good gossip. Please just be aware, in the little world of theatre, it is a tiny, tiny world. If you gossip along, I always try to think, now, I'm talking about this person, is it okay if this person is right next to me? If the answer to that is yes, go for it, gossip. It's very entertaining, there's a huge industry. Gerüchte oder Geschichten erzählen, das macht jeder Mensch, macht man auch sehr gerne. Nur Bewusstsein so erzählen, dass es dich nicht stören würde, wenn diesen Menschen, über den wir gerade reden, im Zimmer wäre. Now, personally, I liked talking about how I felt it. Many people have stuck knives into my back. And in the theater environment, it is actually, now I can laugh about it because I know something bad happens to me, somebody spread lies about me. On average, it took about 3 hours before I knew exactly who spread lies about me, when and where. So das mit Lügenverbreiter nochmal zu Deutsch, nach meiner Erfahrung, da sind schon so viele Messer mir ins Rücken gestochen werden, böse Gerüchte, bla bla bla. Und durchschnittlich dauerte es 3 Stunden, bevor ich genau wusste, wer was wo über mich gesagt hat. So if somebody spreads gossip about you, any publicity is good publicity. And the last point of our etiquette today is something that I think maybe your professors and your colleagues don't talk about it openly. So as an experienced theater and person and musician, I would like to share the following words of wisdom with you that I learned about 35 years ago. The saying is, if you sleep with a boss, you can get the job, but you have to sleep with the audience to keep the job. Abschlusswort auch mal auf Deutsch, alter Spruch, was ich schon sehr lange kenne, ohne dass wir darüber ausgiebig reden. Man sagt, du kannst einen Job bekommen, wenn du mit dem Boss schläfst. Du müsstest aber mit dem Publikum schlafen, um das Job zu behalten. In dem Sinne, I wish you all a very proper, decent, respectful and healthy Hoi to ho!